What do I love about coffee? It's bittersweet. It's like this long love affair that's exciting, heartbreaking, evolving, but all encapsulating. Like any relationship, it takes work. Over the years, I've made thousands of coffees in some of the best artisan cafes in the world, and I've gotten to know some pretty amazing people along the way who've become good friends of mine. This is a program about people. People who inspire me because of their passion, honesty, and their insights, which have made them who they are. They are willing to share their challenges, successes, and experiences with us. I've been inspired by each of them in so many ways, I just have to share them with you. You'll be meeting a rock musician, a war journalist, an acclaimed British actor, a top London chef, and many others. Join our conversation as we get some insight into their lives. Along the way, you'll learn a bit about who they are, and a bit about coffee too, because I'll also be taking you behind the scenes into the heart of London's coffee industry, exploring the intersection between coffee and life. I want all these amazing people to be a part of your world as well as mine. In this episode, I speak to BAFTA-winning filmmaker, war journalist and author Ben Anderson. I'm always really impressed by his boundless energy and his courageous efforts to seek the truth, even when it means risking his own life. In this conversation, we talk about his motivation to do what he does professionally and how that impacts on his personal life. Always ready to take a challenge, see what he does with the surprise I throw at him. Tell me who you are and what it is that you do.
For the last 14 years, I've been, I started off being an undercover documentary maker and journalist for the first 3 or 4 years of my career, and then as soon as I could, moved on to mostly foreign conflict, but foreign affairs, essentially. BBC for 12, 13 years, and then I just moved to New York about 7, 8 months ago and joined Vice.
Wow, so you've been doing it for such a long time.
Yeah. I think I started when I was 25, and I was writing lots of articles about the Indonesian invasion of East Timor and how Britain was selling weapons to Indonesia. And that was one of the things that first made me want to be a journalist, because I couldn't believe this was happening. I almost went to go out on the streets and tell people this was happening, and I thought that if people knew it was happening, there'd be uproar and it would be stopped. And I've still got that sort of, innocent sense of, if people knew, they'd be so outraged this wouldn't be allowed to continue, even though all the evidence suggests that isn't true. But I've still got that sort of naive belief that, if everyone knew, these things would be stopped.
What happens when you come across or experience stuff in your work that do not align with your beliefs and your values?
When I'm filming openly, it's something else. I don't quite buy the line, if you're a journalist, you can't do anything to affect a situation. I'll record what's happening, but if there's a chance later on to then help someone, then I absolutely will, and I don't actually see what's wrong with that.
Because you must have seen quite a bit of horrific...
just stuff you cannot... When you're interviewing a woman, he's actually telling you what happened to her. You just can't actually imagine this being done to a human being, and the human being surviving. It really is impossible to fathom.
In your book, you said you asked one of the soldiers, one of the young soldiers, is this mission worth dying for?
Yeah.
I'm asking you the same thing. Was the mission worth dying for?
No, to be honest, there aren't many things when I travel abroad that I think, if you said if there was a situation where it said, "Are you willing to die for this?" There's not many situations where I'd say yes. Is it worth risking it? Yeah, absolutely. Which I think is...
Is it not the same thing?
No, I think, I've had a few friends who have been killed, I've had a few friends who have lost legs, and they've been doing something fairly innocuous at the time, something fairly routine.
Yeah.
So, it's not like there are levels where I'll go out on a boring patrol and I'll be safe, and I'll go on this crazy mission with 25 Marines into the middle of a Taliban-controlled town, which was the Battle of Marja, and I'll die for sure. It's never as clear-cut as that. And when people do get hurt, it tends to be at times when you wouldn't expect it. So I'm willing to risk my life or risk serious injury, but it's never come to a point where, they say, if you run across that street to get that shot, you will die. Do
you let yourself get into that situation though, where you are in that situation where you have a girlfriend or you know, whatever, you know, your parents, you know, they're at home worried about you.
Yeah. I mean,
That's happened before, right?
If I've been in a serious relationship, then we talk about it. But yeah, I think people do expect you to stop doing it at some point fairly soon. It's always difficult. I mean, I just think, I always say this to myself. I always say if I quit tomorrow, it'd make no difference whatsoever. But if everybody that's doing this job quit tomorrow, it would make a massive difference. Mm-hmm. You know, suddenly the situation in Congo and Syria and Iraq and Gaza would be much worse if no journalists were covering it whatsoever. So you think I'm a small part of a very big team, and collectively we're doing something good and important.
But in that moment, though, when you're filming something or you're talking to someone and they say something so profound, or you capture something that's just, you know, that's never going to happen again. Yeah. And that moment, without like even thinking about who else is going to see it, what does that feel like?
There's nothing like it in the world. That makes me think that, you know, every reason I ever went into this in the first place, it's in that moment. You just feel so lucky to have been able to record something which you think is irrefutable evidence of maybe the opposite of what we're being told. So, you know, moments in Afghanistan where you think that moment or that action or that quote proves without a shadow of a doubt that what we're being told about what we've done in Afghanistan is bullshit.
Because it feels like to me that you've got this innate, like this instinct to go, not to follow danger, but
just as something you put up with to get the story. It's not like, it's not an end in itself. It's not, and it's certainly not an adrenaline rush or a thrill. Anyone that tells you it's exciting, I think hasn't seen the reality. It's not exciting at all. It's horrible. Yeah. It's just something you're willing to go through to get a story that you think is.
Is there any time where you do think that what you're doing is actually?
Sometimes, joining Vice has been great, because joining Vice, I feel like my work's getting seen by a much younger audience who here certainly wouldn't be seeing that kind of stuff. Right. And what I love about their approach is that they've ignored that rule that young people don't care about international politics. It's hard when there's a quote from a friend of mine who was in Fallujah, a US Marine who was in Fallujah, and he said, "There's only one thing worse than being in Fallujah, and that's not being in Fallujah." So sometimes, even though you can't wait to get home and you're looking forward to being home so much, actually coming home can be a real anticlimax. Yeah. So now I've got a little routine where I'll just lock myself in a room, and maybe in a hotel on the way home for a couple of nights, and just do nothing for a couple of days, and then you get back, and then slowly you start to just give yourself a few little treats, like a nice cup of coffee and a nice donut, and then you start sort of, you know, you're ready for normal life again. Like,
How do you keep being inspired to do what you do, and also, you know, what are your inspirations?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm kind of willing to put up with it. I'm willing to go through it rather than... I'm not getting in a plane and going, come on, I'm ready for the next adventure. I'm like, oh, Jesus. But I'm willing to just, you know, go through it. That's how it feels. You just read one newspaper story, or you read 5 pages of a book by an author you love, and that's it. You're switched on, you're ready to go again.
Willing to do it.
Yeah, just willing to, you know, stick it out and hang around for long enough to see what actually happens.
Brilliant. Thank you. This has been awesome. I've got a little surprise for you. I would like you to make me a coffee.
Okay, I'll try it.
And also, I need to tell you what you're going to make me.
Yeah.
I want you to make me a flat white.
Okay, so...
That's what you drink, right?
A cappuccino with like extra espresso in it, right?
No.
A flat white is a double espresso with heated textured milk, usually made in a 5.5 ounce ceramic cup. Quite often on a good flat white, you'll see some latte art, like a rosetta or tulip drawn freehand in the coffee with the milk. The texture of the milk is really important in a flat white and can be an indication of the skill of the barista. Of course, a well-extracted espresso is just as vital. Difficulty rating 5.
Oh, what are they putting this?
Yeah. So you have to keep going like this.
How many of these?
So you need to get all of it in. When it stops.
Ah, no, sorry.
Now, yeah.
Temp. 15 to 20 seconds, right?
And we let it counting. Oh, evenly coming out. It's so dark. How nice is that? You can smell that it's
they all smell good to me.
Okay. All right. Now the milk.
Right, and this is the bit I'm gonna struggle with. Full on? Turn it fully?
Do whatever you want to do. Yep, and then, yep. But you want to be doing the espresso at the same time as you're doing the milk, so that it finishes at the same time.
On the bubble.
Okay.
So this is the bit where I normally
Can
nearly
I feel
get
it?
right.
Can I feel it? Hang on, it's quite hot. That's not bad.
There's the beginnings of milk.
Yeah, I can see some latte art going on there.
It's a
like, do you know what it looks like to me? Looks like that character of Snoopy, the little bird.
yeah. I was thinking mushroom cloud.
Okay, yeah.
But it's not a heart or a whatever it's supposed to be.
No, not yet. But let's give it a go. I'm gonna try this, okay? Thanks for making me a flat white.
Yeah, cool down.
That's not the point. Yeah, good. How was that for you? Was it fun?
Yeah, go. I want to have another go on this though.
Okay, let's do another one.
Can we try it?